Today we're going to show you the process of making a custom fabricated AFO. It's an ankle foot orthosis brace to help control different problems that we might have with the ankle and the foot. It could be post-tib tendon, it could be an arthritic foot, it could be post-surgery, post-fracture. We're just trying to immobilize it and get the swelling down and stabilize the ankle during gait. So today we're going to start with just casting the AFO. We put a barrier on between the skin and the fiberglass that we're going to be using. We're going to mark both the medial and the lateral ankle. Later on we'll have to modify this out in the cast to try to build it up and give ourselves some room. Now he's marking sulcus on my foot and the metatarsal heads. Depending on whether I have toe motion or not will determine whether the brace is full foot or just trimmed to sulcus. Going to mark right below the fibula head. When we fabricate the brace, we don't want to be at the neck. We want to be about an inch below the fibula head so that we don't impinge on any of the perineal nerves. And then we start with the circumferential wrap. We usually start right at sulcus and work our way up. Once Derek gets the fiberglass strapped up the leg, then I'll massage the water and the resin together to create a bond so that none of the straps or edges peel apart. Once he gets the fiberglass sealed, it's going to correct my ankle to 90 degrees. And set it in a neutral position and hold it. Waiting for the fiberglass to set up may take about 5 minutes. Now that the fiberglass is hardened up, we'll mark a trim line to cut it apart, and that way we know how to put it back together once we cut it open with the cast saw. Now that we've cut through the fiberglass, we'll just trim the stockinette and peel the cast off. And then just pull our leg out. Now we've sealed the cast, we've wrapped it with plaster so it won't leak. We'll fill it with liquid plaster, which will be the next step. The next step in the process, now that we've removed the hard cast, is to start making modifications to our plaster mold. We want to build up at both the medial and lateral malleoli and a little bit around sulcus. And then we'll flatten the foot plate to get a nice balanced AFO. We'll build up approximately 1/4 inch on both the medial and lateral malleoli. As a patient stands, their ankle's going to compress and expand a little bit. We want to allow for that modification so the plastic doesn't hit the bony prominences of their ankle. Once the modifications are completed, then we'll vacuum form the plastic around the plaster, and then we'll be able to finish out the final cast. The next step in fabrication is vacuum forming the plastic around the AFO. Once we seal up the plastic around the cast, it'll shape to that cast. The next step in the fabrication process is we'll draw our trim lines, and then we'll cut this out with the cast saw. And we'll peel the plastic off the cast. And then from this stage is where we'll start grinding out the edges and finishing up the product. We've trimmed out the plastic off of the cast. We have to finish fabrication. We begin by grinding up and smoothing up the lines, and then we'll buff them to a fine finish. Okay, now that we have the finished product, all we need to do is add the 2 straps. The final part of the fabrication is just adding the calf and supramalleolar strap. We'll just rivet them on with speedy rivets and we'll be set. We'll be ready for the patient. And that's it. We're all done. The final stage with the custom fabricated AFO is the actual fitting. We have properly fitted shoes with extra depth support. So we'll place the brace on our patient. The white cotton socks tend to wick away the moisture really well, so they tend to be very helpful. A lot of people have some different reactions to the plastics and even or the nickel on the rivet, so having a full-length sock is what's recommended. We use both a cap and a supraumbilical strap to help immobilize my ankle and keep me locked in to eliminate pistoning while walking. It's real important that in the shoe that we use with the AFO brace is that there's a rocker sole to it. The rocker sole means that the sole rolls up. The rollover will allow you to walk more smoothly without impingement. So we'll remove everything that's in the shoe to fit the brace into. Work it in, adjust the back so it's not pinch pushing you forward. Then we lace up the shoe and have the patient ambulate. When we start to walk, you can notice how when I roll off the toe, my heel doesn't pop up. So inside the brace. So it's a lot smoother walk for me. So once they walk and stand up on the brace, if they're not getting any pressure, we're going to take a look at their skin and make sure that there isn't any areas of impingement. And then remove the sock. I want to check their skin just to be sure they're not getting any pressure areas. I don't see any lines where it's red from pressure. I don't see any edge lines from the frame of the brace. Sometimes with a patient with swelling, in the beginning they'll get some edge pressure. So that's why we want to be really cautious as to how these trim lines fit to the patient. You can see the little bit of gap, but it's stabilizing my ankle with good arch support. So all in all, this was an excellent fit. Thank you.